What if the chaos you see dominating today's headlines, the wars, the rumors, the collapsing economies, the geopolitical shifts are not random? What if they are echoes of an ancient script, a divine warning, and a profound promise unfolding right before our eyes? For centuries, humanity has built its empires, its towering monuments of power, only to watch them crumble. But amidst the dust and destruction, a different narrative is being written. A story not of man's fleeting kingdoms, but of a kingdom that will never fall. Are you ready to see the world not just through the lens of daily news, but through the eternal perspective of prophecy? The world is on fire, not just metaphorically, but literally. From the smoldering ruins of ancient cities now ravaged by conflict, to the relentless drumbeat of headlines screaming, "Global conflict escalates," Middle East on brink of war, financial markets plummet. Everywhere we turn, the pillars of stability seem to be crumbling. Borders are redrawn, leaders rise and fall like tides, economies shake, and families are tragically torn apart. It's an age of unprecedented upheaval. For many, in the face of such relentless chaos, a single piercing question echoes louder than the bombs. Where is God in all of this? Is this simply the inevitable, brutal cycle of human history, destined to repeat its ancient mistakes? In the heart of a city once bustling with life, now consumed by shadow and debris, a young man navigates the rubble-strewn streets. His name is Elias, a teacher, not a soldier, who stayed behind, driven by a quiet, unwavering desire to help. The skyline around him is a jagged, torn silhouette, a haunting testament to a kingdom that once stood proud, now reduced to dust and memories. The air is thick with the scent of ash and the distant, muffled sounds of a world in pain. Elias makes his way through the shattered remains of what was once a grand public library. Amidst the scorched books and splintered shelves, he notices something almost hidden beneath a fallen beam, a book, miraculously preserved, though its cover is singed. He brushes off the dust, revealing ancient, faded pages. It is a Bible. As he opens it, almost by an unseen hand, it falls open to a strange, compelling page, a towering statue. Long ago, in the ancient land of Babylon, during the pinnacle of its golden age, a king named Nebuchadnezzar, ruler of the greatest empire on earth, was suddenly seized by a terrifying and unforgettable dream. It haunted his nights, yet when he awoke, the dream had vanished from his memory, leaving him with an overwhelming sense of dread. He summoned all his wise men, his magicians, enchanters, and astrologers, demanding not just an interpretation, but for them to tell him the dream itself. But no man could. Fear and despair gripped the wise men of Babylon. Their lives hung in the balance. But then, a young Hebrew captive, a man named Daniel, stepped forward. He possessed no earthly power or title, only an unwavering faith in the living God. Daniel sought the Lord in prayer, and that night, heaven opened. God revealed the mystery to his humble servant. Can you imagine the scene? A teenage exile standing before the most powerful monarch on earth, not with fear, but with the quiet confidence of divine revelation. And with humility, yet profound authority, Daniel began to describe the king's forgotten dream. You, O king, were watching, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose splendor was excellent, stood before you, and its form was awesome. He recounted the vision in vivid detail. The statue's head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. A majestic, terrifying vision of human power and decline. Then Daniel unveiled the interpretation, revealing a divine timeline of empires. You, O king, are a king of kings.
For the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. You are this head of gold, Babylon, magnificent and unrivaled. But then came the stunning pronouncement. But after you, another kingdom shall arise, inferior to yours, like silver. This was Persia, vast and powerful, yet not possessing Babylon's absolute dominance. And after that, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth, the swift and widespread Greek Empire. Next, Daniel saw a fourth kingdom, as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything. And like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. This was the Roman Empire, known for its brutal strength and enduring reach. But the dream didn't end there. Daniel saw the feet of the statue, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. This represented a future, fragmented kingdom, a mixture of strength and weakness that would not cohere, constantly struggling with internal division. Elias stares at the ancient script, his fingers tracing the words. Babylon. They all fell, just like that statue. He looks around the desolate library, seeing the broken structures mirroring the empires of old. The rumble of jets overhead suddenly shakes the already fragile building. He instinctively ducks as dust and debris rain down from the crumbling ceiling. Are we, he whispers to himself, living in the feet of iron and clay? Are we witnessing the final, fractured stage of human kingdoms? He thinks of the relentless headlines, the constant shifting of global power, the fragile alliances, and the simmering conflicts. Nations rising against nations, often with no clear victor. Leaders promising peace, yet delivering chaos. It feels like the world is teetering on the edge of a great precipice.
And then, as if by divine impulse, another page of the ancient Bible flips open, revealing a new, even more dramatic vision given to Daniel. This time, Daniel saw 4 terrifying beasts rising out of the tumultuous sea, each more monstrous than the last, symbolizing the violent, predatory nature of human empires. First, a lion with eagle's wings, representing Babylon, majestic yet eventually brought low. Then, a bear, raised on one side with 3 ribs in its mouth, depicting the Median Persian Empire, powerful and consuming. Next, a leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, symbolizing the swift and cunning Greek Empire, fragmented after its initial conquests. But it was the 4th beast that was truly terrifying, a dreadful, mighty, and exceedingly strong beast with great iron teeth. It devoured, broke in pieces, and trampled everything under its feet. This beast, unlike any before it, had 10 horns, and among them a little horn with eyes like a man and a mouth speaking great blasphemies. This represented the Roman Empire and a final, future manifestation of power that would seek to defy God himself. Yet, even as these beastly kingdoms rose and fell, Daniel saw another scene unfold. I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame, its wheels a burning fire. From his presence, a fiery stream issued forth, and judgment was rendered. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom shall not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed. Elias, consumed by the ancient text, begins to furiously write in a tattered notebook he carries. If Daniel's beasts were real kingdoms, empires that once dominated the world, then where are we now? Who are the beasts today? He scribbles names, recognizing modern manifestations of power and control, superpowers vying for global dominance,
Alliances forming and breaking like shifting sands, economic unions that wield immense influence, military blocs poised for conflict, even the insidious rise of tech empires, controlling information and shaping societies. He sees through the illusion, recognizing a chilling pattern. Every kingdom of man, no matter how noble its founding, eventually becomes a beast when it hungers for power more than peace. He recalls the latest news reports. civilians tragically bombed in disputed territories, lives shattered by unseen forces, relentless propaganda flooding social media, blurring the lines of truth, digital currencies consolidating power in the hands of a few, mass surveillance rising in the name of safety, eroding fundamental freedoms. It all fits. And then he remembers the words of Jesus, spoken nearly 2,000 years ago, echoing through the ages. He turns to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, and reads with growing intensity. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. Elias whispers, it's all happening. Every sign Jesus warned us about, unfolding before our very eyes. The intensity of the prophecy, the undeniable connection to the present moment could be overwhelming. Yet, a strange sense of peace settles over him. He's not afraid, because Jesus didn't just warn of coming darkness, he also gave a promise of profound hope. He said, when you see all these things, look up and lift up your heads, because your redemption draws near. In the quiet solemnity of the broken library, surrounded by the remnants of a fallen world, Elias closes the scorched Bible. He drops to his knees, not in despair, but in prayer, not for the victory of one nation over another, but for clarity, for wisdom, for the peace that transcends all understanding. He begins to write again in his notebook, the pen scratching softly against the paper. Maybe the point isn't who wins the battles of this world. Maybe the point is that no kingdom built by human hands will ever truly last. He recalls the profound vision from the prophet Isaiah, a vision of a future world transformed. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And he remembers the ultimate declaration from the book of Revelation, a triumphant chorus resonating through eternity. The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. Elias walks outside, and for the first time in days, the sun breaks through the lingering smoke and dust. Its rays illuminate a scene of quiet resilience. Children are helping each other navigate the debris. A woman shares her last piece of bread with a stranger. A medic bandages a wounded man with gentle hands. These aren't acts of grand empires, but of profound humanity, echoing a different kind of kingdom. And Elias writes one last powerful line in his notebook, looking directly into the camera, addressing us, the audience. Empires will rise and empires will fall, but his kingdom, the one built on love, on compassion, on justice, and on eternal truth, that kingdom is here and it is coming in fullness. So, what about today? Are we indeed seeing the feet of iron and clay crumble before our eyes? Are the beastly systems of power rising again, just as ancient prophecies foretold? But if Daniel's visions are truly unfolding, then remember this vital truth. Fear not, because the stone cut without human hands, the stone that shatters all earthly kingdoms, is coming.
The mountain of God's eternal kingdom is growing, silently, powerfully, filling the whole earth. And his kingdom will not be shaken. He will reign forever and ever. So if this message stirred something deep within your spirit, if you recognize these signs in today's headlines, let us know. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you awake to the hour we're living in? Do you stand for God's eternal covenant? Share your answers. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this message of hope. This helps us reach more people with prophetic truth. And if you want to keep exploring how current events connect with biblical prophecy, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Your engagement empowers this mission to awaken and equip. Finally,
Consider supporting us through the Super Thanks button below. Your generous gift helps us continue creating content that illuminates the times and prepares hearts for what's to come. Thank you for listening, for believing, and for being part of a generation rising in prophetic times. May God bless you, awaken your spirit, and prepare your heart. Because what's coming next will shake the world, but it will not shake those who stand on the rock.